Hi guys, I'm live. I just want to do some serious comic relief. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but this is just comic relief. I'm just going to chat about just stuff that's on my brain right now. But it's kind of comic relief in that way because it's nothing important really, but yet it's what I really feel at the same time. So I call it serious comic relief. I love you guys. Peace, rock and roll. I want to talk about the 3 Gs. G is in goat. And what I think, 3 phenomena I think apply in those 3 Gs that I think is interesting and funny and yet kind of makes me think. The first G is government. And I think the principle that applies to the way I think we react to government is what I call the Charlie Brown phenomenon. Charlie Brown always gets the football. Lucy puts the football up, and Charlie Brown goes to kick the football, and Lucy pulls the football away, and Charlie Brown misses the football and falls down, and then falls for it again, and falls for it every time. But every time it's always the same. But Charlie Brown never figures that out. I believe people are that way with government, and the fact that, or at least my belief, I think it's a fact, but that's because I believe it, that the government basically lies to us and we believe it in real time, every time. But in hindsight, in history, every time it turns out the government is lying to us. Case in point, the Kennedy assassination. At the time, we believe, because we're supposed to, or because we're brainwashed, or because whatever, or because we're stupid, that Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy. And then and think nothing of the fact that then Jack Ruby kills Lee Harvey Oswald, and we think and we believe we're being told the truth. And then 50 years later, oh no, he didn't. Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy, and then they had to eliminate the patsy, and that's what Jack Ruby was for. If Jack Ruby even did eliminate Lee Harvey Oswald, either way he was eliminated, and either way he didn't kill Kennedy, and he was just the patsy that was eliminated. But the next disaster comes, like 9/11, and we believe that. We believe that those planes actually, for the first time in history and the last time probably in history ever, that two planes destroyed buildings that are meant to withstand nuclear attack. But yet 2 planes can blow them up just by blowing up the gas in the planes. That's supposed to take down steel and reinforced nuclear-ready buildings, but we believe that in real time, and then now, 20 years later, whatever, now people, oh, that was a hoax. Oh, okay, they wanted to give us the Patriot Act, but that was their excuse, so they've demolished their own people, if they're even our own people, because they might be reptilian hybrids and really not human. But either way, that's the people they're supposed to supposedly be leading, which they might be leading, but that doesn't mean they're not. That doesn't mean they're leading them in truth or even goodwill. Second G is God. I believe the principle that applies with God is what I call eyes wide shut phenomena. If I or anybody or thing ever even thought of putting everybody or even one person, much less most people, in an eternal burning hell, we would think that person is a monster, but we have eyes wide shut in the case that God is love, even though he puts more than half of humanity that ever lived or will live in eternal hell. I say more than half because the majority of people supposedly are lost, because there isn't the narrow road that leads to life and few there be that find it. Well, then the road that doesn't lead to life must be the mainstream, and that leads to eternal burning hell. So more than half the people that ever lived or will live are going to spend eternity in an absolute burning hell, but yet that God gets a pass because we have eyes wide shut, and God is love, despite, even no matter what he does to the contrary, we just give him a pass, and he's love. The most horrendous thing you could ever think of is putting someone, even one person, in eternal hell. But God is love for doing that to most of humanity. The third G is girls. I think with girls, we have the principle that applies there is the paper love phenomenon. It's my girl because it proves it. I'm married. I see it right here. It says that she's my girl. You better not. I'll kill you. what now? Love is legislated either morally or legally, but yet it's not legally because it's not against the law to have an affair, or what they call it, fornicate, commit adultery, whatever you want to call it. Well, is it against God then? But God is a monster, and I'm not afraid of God. So okay, so that paper love phenomena is just a collective brainwashing or collective whatever delusion that we all subscribe to for reasons we don't even know, but just have to accept. Otherwise, we're bad people, and bad people go to hell or whatever. But so we all have to accept this, and since we accept this, it's my girl because that's the paper says it. I can prove love. I can legislate it. I can even document it. That's my girl. The paper says so. You do, or else. I don't buy that. If a girl really wants to be with a guy, well, that's great. But if she doesn't, then see ya. Otherwise, what? Or if you don't, then what? Or you know, and so the person either has the inability or the or just irrationality or just unwillingness to do what they feel is right for them. We only live once, at least in this body. I might as well enjoy what I can while I'm here, and not just, oh man, I married the wrong person, I'm just doomed for life. I'm set. I just can't see past that paper. That's what I call paper love phenomenon or whatever. I'm just spouting my mouth. It's just things I think. Don't watch this if you don't want, but whatever. And then the final thought, and it doesn't relate to the 3 Gs. I guess I'm still irked by haters sometimes, but sometimes I see some of them actually saying nice things inadvertently almost, and it makes me feel happy. Okay, I'll admit that. I'll give 3 examples. One person said, Jimmie, I think I see you're having a bald spot. That's why you comb your hair backwards. Well, true or not, at least that proves I have my real hair. You can't have what is my wig having a bald spot? Well, look at okay, at least it's acknowledged I wouldn't go bald if I had a wig. I would have eternal hair. Next example. Someone actually said, and someone said, I didn't read the whole thing that carefully, but someone said something like, well, they don't agree with how I think or whatever, or how I am, or whatever they don't like about me. But he at least acknowledged, if that makes you happy, as long as you don't hurt yourself, or as long as you're happy and you're having fun and it works for you, well, just do your thing. That feels like it's someone starting to meet me halfway. You're never going to get me much progress if you're really trying to help. If you're just trying to put me down, go for it. But if you're trying to actually be a part of the solution and not the problem, that's the method. Meet me halfway. At least say, well, I see some good in what you're doing, but you might try this. And the ultimate just F you and the finger, that just makes me do the reverse or ignore you. I mean, not the reverse. By the reverse, I mean the same thing back to you. I should call it not the reverse, but the same to you, or I just process it and ignore it and move on. If you're just trying to hurt me, well, then maybe well, that's good too. Do your thing. See if it works. See if you're strong enough to hurt me or hurt whatever your goal is. But if you're really interested in being part of the solution, if I am a problem or have a problem or whatever, that's the approach that would actually make me say, well, maybe I'll try this. Just hitting me, even literally or figuratively, I'm either gonna defend myself and or hit you back. I mean, I'm not, I'm sorry, that's just human nature. It's just a reptilian brain. It's just survival instinct. But yeah, that approach is cool. And someone did another thing that I thought was cool. I know I'm not supposed to compare myself to David Van Halen, and I don't. David Roth, you have that. I know I said it. I don't do that. But someone said in a comment, maybe even better than Eddie Van Halen. And I, in turn, did not I liked the comment and loved it, but I didn't say thank you. I didn't say, yeah, I take that. Yeah, thank you. I recognized their generosity in saying such a beautiful thing to me, and I in turn lowered my ego a little. I didn't respond like, oh yeah, I told you. I didn't do that. I just didn't respond. I listened, I heard it, but I took it in here, and I didn't own it like, yeah, that you're damn right. I didn't do that. It humbled me to actually compliment me a little bit, rather than just humiliating me, putting me down, and yeah, you take that. That'll humble you. It doesn't. It doesn't. It just makes me either ignore you or put up my wall of defense, and I'm even more egotistical or the same as I was before. It's again, it's not that's not being part of the solution. It's part of the problem or a problem or whatever's going on. You're only trying. If these three people did not just try to tear me down for whatever reason, its own sake, they don't like me, they have whatever, they met me halfway. And that's a way to get me to say, well, maybe you're right. Maybe I can work on that. Maybe I'm not a Van Halen dude. I mean, thanks for the compliment. Maybe I'm not. Or the other thing, what were the other two examples even? The hair thing. Well, nah, I don't know. I don't even know that I have a balding spot. But if I do, well, thanks for the warning. I'll try to be careful with my hair. Make sure I take good care. I do a lot of scalp meditation, massaging it, and making sure the energy's good there, and taking my vitamins, B vitamins, whatever, all kinds of good stuff I take. I'm healthy, and I only eat one meal a day, so I don't get all my nutrition just from food. I take vitamins, and I take a lot of them, B, E, whatever. There's that, or just low stress lifestyle, which I already try to do, but don't stress out. Exercise, health. So there's that. And then about the other thing, what was the other thing? I just said it, didn't I? The lifestyle thing, let me live what I want first. And then if you make a point that I can change that, you might get me to, think about changing how I do me. But it's never going to be just by brute force. It's never going to, you're just going to, it only pushes me in the opposite direction, as they say. I'm either going to just ignore you or defend myself and either do the same or worse than I was in the first place. So I love you guys. Peace, rock and roll.